This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I even got a studio guest that came in early for Mayhem Show, so hanging out here in the wide open space of the studio. But that's for later. Right now, we're talking geeky things. First of all, with me from Studio D in Duttersville, the Dutters. Katie, how you doing?
Good. I got Baby Yoda on my shirt. I'm very happy.
There you go. There you go.
I can show Ronnie, your guest for later, my Baby Yoda shirt.
He's not near the TV to see the Baby Yoda. So he's going to be over. He's getting some of the Slice on Broadway, so the sponsor pizza. Ooh. So he's getting that in there. And also with us of Rizz Plays Games, the Rizz.
It's me. I'm back. This is the first show of 2022 for me.
Yeah, two shows.
First full show of 2022.
First full show of 2022. Yeah. You were here for the latter half of the show, and you were here for the after show of last week's Mayhem show. So I don't know what's so sure.
Can't wait.
So what's
Can't
that?
Wait for more.
Can't wait for more. You know what? Maybe we should just have more Rizz in 2022. Like that. I think the people want it.
Do they?
Do they? I don't know.
Dutters, do you want more Rizz? This is just putting out there.
You know I don't ever.
No, pretty much. Well, anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. I fixed it today, guys. I fixed the domain today. It took like 3 weeks. I finally figured. I just reset everything from scratch. I'm like, screw it. We're just starting over. And so that works now. And also, you can hit us up at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com for any comments or advertising inquiries. And also at AwesomeCast on the Twitter, AwesomeCast on the Facebook, a great Facebook group where a lot of conversation happening over on the AwesomeCast Discord and Reddit, and we do have links over on awesomecast.com to the Discord, because that's a kind of a hard thing to share. It's usually an invite link or something, right? But anyways, we also have you can subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app in podcast audio form, but we do have video versions of the show that you can see here live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on the AwesomeCast Facebook, YouTube, the Sorgatron Media Twitch page, and we're even on Twitter streaming right now as well, so you can be a part of all of that. And also a big shout out to our partners over at postindustrial.com doing some really good stuff, and I think they have a new issue coming out. I just saw them sharing some stuff recently, so go follow them. A lot of great news, especially if you're in the Rust Belt region about things that actually kind of matter to you. So a nice local regional state of mind there. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast, our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Closkey, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound. And at the fan of the show level, our friends Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Potter. Thank you, everybody that does support the show. It does keep the servers rolling here on the show at AwesomeCast. And if we have any extra chatter around the show, we drop that in the feed as well, or any other special communications, things we might be doing, such as when we're doing our special Patreon exclusive episodes. You actually got that a little earlier. We actually live streamed the recording exclusive to our Patreon supporters over there. So if you want some, and we're going to try and do always endeavoring to do a little bit more and different things to see what people like to see there as part of that. So if you like the show, if you like what's going on, please support us over there. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And man, where do we start? Do we want the fun thing? Do we want the practical gadget? Or do we want is that a fun thing? I don't know what that is, Rizz. Okay, Rizz, let me. This is at least a video game angle on this. So, Rizz, what is this, and why is it awesome?
Well, first of all, Pokemon Go is still pretty awesome.
Well,
It's
yes.
out
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
And honestly, if you saw a Snorlax, you would drop whatever you were doing to go do that.
Go wait. Go
But
what? Go do what?
to
Go
go do that.
go do
Go
Snorlax.
to go catch Snorlax.
Catch a Snorlax. Okay,
Because
thank
gotta
you.
catch them all, Sorg.
I didn't know Snorlax was a verb, so I didn't know what going. Like, is this something
Yeah.
new? Is this something I need a TikTok for? I don't know what that means.
So, so in 2017, so this was kind of in the Pokemon Go heyday, I guess. Right? It has been out for quite some time. So two cops just stopped doing their job and went Pokemon hunting
What?
and got fired for it because there was a robbery in progress and they were
Oh,
trying to catch a
jeez.
Snorlax.
Was this a gag on Free Guy? What or something? I don't know. It feels like something that would have been over there.
It does
So-
sound like something like from a movie where it's just like two bumbling cops just
So they were too busy playing Pokemon Go, and they missed a robbery, basically, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, how often for people who still play Pokemon Go, Sorg, how many times have you seen a Snorlax?
Not often. I can't see. No, I can't see often when I was playing regularly.
Dudders, do you play? Did you play? Yeah, you were
I did
there.
play.
You had the bug at one point.
Yes, I did.
The Pokebug.
Snorlaxes are very rare, so when's the next time they're gonna see one? But
Oh my.
yeah, I do your job, please, so we
don't Pokemon and drive. Although one of the big advantages for me when I was playing Pokemon is when I was doing Uber. What is this thing? What's a Froakie? I'm sorry. I opened this app for the first time in forever, and there's just so my neighborhood is very busy with Pokemon. Holy crap! I should be playing this actually. So like all I need to sit here in the studio and I'll be okay with it. I'm going to catch so much stuff here during the show now.
Now we have the ability to wear something on our wrists that catches Pokemon anyways. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Do we still have that? Like I still have the Pokemon Go Plus
I still
in my bag
see
somewhere.
people wear it.
Okay.
I still see people come with it and like at Comic-Cons and do all that stuff. I see people with it. I do see people use it sometimes and press the button and don't do anything with it. So yeah, now those cops can go ahead and
just do that.
just wear that and get it automatically.
That's basically what I did when I was doing Uber. I just had this thing on my wrist, and as I'm driving around, I'd pick up on Pokemon here and there.
You pick up the Pokemon.
Yeah.
You can hatch your eggs.
Yeah.
You can do everything with just have it on your dashboard. It's just right there.
There it is. It's easy. It's easy. Be smart about this. Come on. You got a problem.
Pokemon responsibly.
If it's yes, Pokemon responsibly. That's your PSA for this week is Pokemon responsibly. Have you, Katie? Have you been still Pikmining? I've kind of fallen out of it. It keeps bugging me and telling me how many steps I've had, but I don't think it's right. I feel like I've done more steps.
Well, yeah, because I keep running into that issue too, but like I don't have it running in the background, so it doesn't catch up on all my steps until I actually open the app.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And I'm like not opening it like weeks at a time at this point, so it kind of did not catch my attention in the way. But it feels like it's a very passive game.
I have not played the Pikmin, so you guys have to tell me. Is it closer to the Harry Potter
I don't think it's like any of them.
realm? Or is it just like its own thing?
It's its own thing. It seems to like it does the steps, and as you do your steps, it's kind of more like a daily check-in kind of app. Like it tells me my steps for the day and where I've been, and then like you can pick up plants and seeds to plant, and then they bring you like fruits and things. So like they just brought me a bunch of pots and fruits, and then I can take those and plant for more Pikmin. I can send them out to like they'll pull up a map and say, hey, there's This thing is so far away. If you send 3 Pikmin, it'll take 30 minutes to go get it, right? Like things like that. Like you can send them out on missions, so you're not actually necessarily walking around and then you feed them nectar and they're really happy and stuff. Oh, this, I forgot how joyful this is to have them pick the stuff and throw the hearts up and everything like that. But anyways, so yeah, and I just birthed 2 more Pikmin. So, and you can rename them. It seems more Tamagotchi than anything. Does that seem right, Katie?
Yeah, it's a little too babysitty for me, because I was getting kind of overwhelmed, especially because the popularity hit when I was in Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So I was walking a ridiculous amount of miles, steps every day. So it was like constantly, and then they were finding seeds and constantly, and it was fun. And then it was like, okay, then this isn't just another thing; it's another task on my list
Another
daily.
to-do list, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the problem. Is like some of these games just become another task in your day when you're already stressed enough, and when you're worried about real world things, and you're like, did I check in on my Pikmin? Did I check in on my Pokemon? Whatever the case may be, right? So, but no, I mean, I think it's a fun little thing. I mean, it's a nice, I'm picking flowers off of people now. There we go. It's a nice little calming thing if you need it.
Mm-hmm. It does sound like a very calming game.
Yeah. So,
but the Tamagotchi aspect kind of.
I don't know if you're breaking up there or not. I
was saying I wasn't good at Tamagotchi at all.
Yeah.
So just putting it out there.
Man, I mean, have you seen the plants die in my studio when the wife is away to California for a couple months? So at least the dog's okay. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, I think it's a fun little thing. I don't know if it's. I feel like it's one of those things that's not going to last. I can't imagine that they're getting like a big, a big following on that. I mean, they turned off Dr. Mario World, and that was disappointing because I really enjoyed that game too. But it's online only, and you're at the mercy of the companies at that point, unfortunately. So, and that's why Phil Spencer's coming out, and we'll maybe talk a little bit later about what else Phil Spencer said about preserving video games. That there's the industry has. Did he say a responsibility, Rizz, to do that, or he's calling on them to do it? I mean, Nintendo especially. I mean, they're really good about like, we're going to give you a game, charge you $50 for it again, and then make it go away. So you have to, bump everything.
You have to buy it again.
I'm not happy with Nintendo.
No.
That's the reason I don't have a Switch. It just seems like the most expensive thing you could possibly do is get a Switch and try to get those games. So it's not even getting an old Nintendo system isn't affordable. Reasonably affordable or anything like that. So,
and you can't stream anything.
That's what I understand. They shut everything down.
You can't stream any games unless you're like really big. You can't stream anything.
Yeah. Well, that they have their audience, and that's people that aren't worried about those things, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into some other awesome things. Dudas, you got a gadget.
Yeah, I haven't. I have no personal experience with this, so I don't. But I have. So it's an Anker 622 magnetic wireless portable charger. It's MagSafe for your MagSafe devices, and so I guess there's an Apple version of this, but this is their own version of this Anker. I've not experienced this particular Anker product, but I feel like at least you or somebody has an Anker portable charger at this point in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Those battery packs, because they last a long time and they work really, really well. But there's this new one, and I saw this on TikTok today, and I'm pretty darn excited about it. It's new. It's number 1, a new release in cell phone portable power packs. It comes in a variety of colors. So this guy, you charge it, and then it magnetically sticks to the back of your phone. Little MagSafe guy. So you're just walking, no cords, hanging out of your phone or your charger as you're walking along. And it also has where you can flip it up, and it actually holds your phone too, and you could turn it to the side. So you could use it to charge your phone and watch things on your phone comfortably.
Why is this guy walking down a fake street in this video? What is happening here?
Don't know.
Like they have a set somewhere. That's weird. Anyways.
And it comes in a variety of colors, which is super cool too. Especially if you have multiple ones. You're like, oh, okay, I have 5 black power bricks. Like, which one is charged?
The blue one is charged. We don't have these, but we do have we have some Anker wireless, and I don't know if the one that Missy uses is Anker too, and we have some kind of lower end ones too. But well, again, not something I've been getting into because I have a thick protective case because of me.
Yeah.
So then this thing will not allow any wireless. So even the nice like wireless pad that was given for I think my birthday or something last year, like is unusable now. It has a watch charger, so I do use that. Thankfully, but the iPhone is just absolutely unusable. But not a problem because I just get by the entire day on the charge anymore overnight with the new one. But eventually I'll probably want something else. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a more applicable case down the line or in the off season or something like that. But not now. We're going into the muck. The mucky muck. Katie, I'm excited because you are prospectively joining me on the most harrowing of video adventures that I go on every year. Baja, the reason we have these cases. I'm excited to see how you deal with that when you get out there in the dirt, in the mud, in the dust, in the desert, and whatever the case may be, when that happens. So.
Are you saying I don't like it to get dirty? Because oh my gosh.
No, I'm just talking about on the gadget side.
Have you seen my gadgets and how like they're always dirty and
this is.
I had my screen scratched up day one.
Wait till you see me giving my tripod a shower, so I'm not bringing all the desert home with me.
I love it.
I just stand it in, turn on the shower in the hotel, leave it there so it dries out, so it doesn't, so I'm not closing it and it gets all rusty, and then so that I don't have like mud. And we are doing Tennessee and Rochester, so it's all possible. But the mud and muck doesn't like add weight to my bag, and they charge me for it. On the airline. That's the problem that I've run into.
Yeah.
So like those kinds of things. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We'll have some stories, I'm sure. But,
yeah, I'm sure. Like as we get closer, it's gonna be like, look at this thing that I bought to protect my nice camera.
Oh, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it because this is your first round of figuring out. Okay, I'm going into what kind of environment. And I need to do what to protect my expensive equipment again? But we'll be discussing those as we get closer to that. As considered. Listen, I bring my rain cover everywhere because not only am I worried about rain, it also is a dust cover to my expensive 4K camera, professional camera. So like I don't want to mess around with any of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. Anyways, you should see what I used to do. The hardware I used to carry, I was insane. I can't believe I tried that stuff. Anyways, so here's my awesome thing of the week. And I watched this video because I'm like, how did they do this? So I love this headline. And there's another one later. I didn't get a chance to check this other one, but the two fun headlines of things kind of reconnecting. And listen, I do have 2 or 3 VCRs at the house. I think we established this on this or the other show recently for some reason, in the last couple months. But I was excited to see over on iMore, you can apparently use Siri to control your VCR. And what they did was they took a home hub. It was I believe it was the M2 home hub, and then that's what they used to bridge an IR blaster, so you can control. And an IR blaster is what kind of adapts like your controller, right? And you see there's a home pod beside the VCR in the video that they show here, and that home hub in the IR blaster helps adapt it, and you can create routines in HomeKit. So then now Siri can They got it to, I believe, play. I saw in the video. Also, there's a rewind function that they worked on there. Basically, just using Siri and the IR blaster to mimic the remote and those signals so that it would communicate with the VCR basically wirelessly and as if it was your controller you're pressing buttons on. I thought that was a really cool kind of workaround, and also just, man, that's a way you can kind of low-tech-ish, we go low-tech, I'm talking about IR blasters, but I'm talking about, 30, 40-year-old technology, right? But to adapt that to do that, kind of along this line, I'm looking for things like, like we talked about, I need to get a doorbell, a video doorbell and stuff for the studio, right? And I saw you can get, you can get like the switches, like the HomeKit and Smart Things, whatever switches. And this one was a connected switch, but it was something you install, and it's literally a physical switch, that lever that flips the light switch for you. I'm presuming it's for places where you can't necessarily install something like a light switch to do that kind of thing, and you want to kind of add on to something. For instance, we're concerned, like, the doorbell situation. I don't want to install a doorbell because it's something that will be a concern since this is a rental situation that we're doing here, right? So I don't want to get in the muck of doing that kind of thing. So I want something wireless and it's not going to do a thing. So also, like, hey, what if I wanted to automate something like these headlights that we have here in the studio? I would need something to flip the switch instead of replacing the switch, right? So it just interesting, that little crossover, right? That technology, and practicality. It turns into, how do we connect our HomeKit? How do we our Siri and our Echoes and our HomePods to a Rube Goldberg machine of things that happen? Which is also how I think about when you do routines, right? Like, this triggers boom, 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 boom. Or Siri, what do they call it? Siri, what's the Siri routines, Katie, that they do? Siri suggestions is popping in my head. Siri shortcuts, like those kinds of things, where you say, "Hey Siri, Bob's home," and that turns on, the TV and this podcast and this light and the coffee maker. So, side awesome thing, by the way, we got a new fridge for the house because we needed to do some fridge moving, so we had one in the new studio space. Missy accidentally purchased a smart fridge. So I'm looking at the back of it, and I'm like, "What is this thing?" And it was like, "Oh, maybe it's an antenna or something." Why would a fridge have an antenna? And then I look inside, and there's a barcode, and it says, "This is how you set up Smart Things." I'm like, "Excuse me?" So I can pull up a Smart Things app. I can turn on the ice maker. I can turn on something called, and I'm tempted, but I know I'm going to ruin all the food, something called Power Freeze. And also, I can also check if the door was left open. So it's loading. I've only done this once before, not in the same house. Yeah, we're at good 40 degrees in the fridge. The door's closed, and the ice maker is operating. So, and weirdly, it has a feature where you can add items. This isn't a smart thing. You do this manually. You can add food that is in your fridge and the expiration date, so it will remind you of your expiration dates. It does not do this automatically. This is just a function in the app. So it seems really. And then there's like location. Is it in the fridge or the freezer? And will you get an expiration reminder on this kind of thing? That seems like that's fraught with peril to me. But I mean, kind of a nice feature. But isn't that what, like, some of them have a camera inside that will then go and identify what's in there? Like, you go to those crazy Samsung showroom stores when you go to like Chelsea neighborhood in New York City, right? I've seen them in LA too, and they'll show, this is what your fridge could do. Yeah, if I want to pay $5,000 for a fridge. And this was just, we bought a fridge and it happened to be a Samsung, and apparently Samsung's just kept stock standard with, it's got Wi-Fi. So, but no, that was kind of the fun discovery there as well. What are these features I just found? Okay, we're going to look at that later. And I'm curious because Chilla, I'm sure, has maybe a little more knowledge of the smart things ecosystem, and I don't think that's just Samsung. But anyways. Hey, you know what? We don't know the expiration date because we eat it way too fast. Our good friends over at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. New York City style. Yins are made 4 locations right down the street in Beachview, as well as the Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills. Like I say, this is how we're feeding our guests. I love our guests are coming in for a Wrestling Mayhem show lately. But still, it's one less thing for us to worry about. Rizz, was that on the other show we were talking about what we used to do with these?
Yeah.
I used to just buy cheap pizza every week.
Cheap
pizza, Domino's, because the podcast. No, not Domino's. Never Domino's.
Not Domino's.
No, it was somebody else. I won't mention them because we're talking about Slice on Broadway.
That's true.
It was that podcast budget. We can't spend a lot on this, but our good friends Slice on Broadway bailed us out, and we really appreciate it. And I do appreciate when I do get the messages and the pictures and the Instagrams when you guys visit the neighborhoods and go check it out, including you, Rizz. You get it delivered all the way out there in Monroeville.
I barely visit the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I order it from Grubhub.
Yeah.
But nothing beats going. Even though I do order from Grubhub, nothing beats going inside, getting a slice.
Oh, the smells.
The smell.
The smells.
Slice. Like even if you don't, even if you just get one slice, it's about 2 slices when you're in the building.
It is. They're very generous slices.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That's the New York City style, right? Because it's like you're like, hey, your slice barely fits on the plate. You know, that's how you do it.
And they give you a plate, like not like a small paper plate. They give you like a cooking plate. They just stick it in there and give it to you.
Oh yeah, I haven't eaten there with COVID and everything. I haven't eaten in there for a while. It's just always been takeout for the last 2 years. But man, what I love about the Beachview location is sitting in that front space. You know this, Katie, from when we did Pizza Pals, and just sitting there and watching the train go by. You know, like that's still the coolest thing to me. You know, and I literally watch a train go by all day here. So actually, I don't because my desk is in the back. I see the train in the distance now. So, but anyways, check out our good friend SliceOnBroadway.com to learn more. All right, so let's get into some more stories here. Rizz, have you been up on... Phil Spencer's been doing all the interviews this week. I guess CES is probably the reason, right?
Yeah, I think he has. I think that's why he's doing all this. He's having a good old time.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the big things with him is it's been... one of the big news items I've seen is they're kind of like the conversation about bullying and of course on the platform and those kinds of things. I mean, one of the big things that just ruins the community for any of these things and what is their kind of role in making sure that level of bullying, Gamergate, whatever doesn't happen, right? So in this article I pulled from over at PCGamer.com. It's just wild to me. PC Gamer still exists in some sense, and they actually have useful articles sometimes. I have Popular Science in my Apple newsfeed, and it's just complete garbage. It seems half the time. It's like clickbait articles. I'm like, what are you guys doing? That used to be a good magazine, right? Or were they just explaining high level things to me as if I was an idiot so I could understand it? And now I'm seeing stuff that I understand, and they're just talking to everybody else to explain. I don't know, maybe. But anyways, the point is, I digress. The point is, he was on there, piece of grammar. They're talking about he wants your banned players list to follow you everywhere. Well, that's Rizz. There's the article. There he is. There's Phil.
There's Phil with his smiley face.
With his smiley face. So between that and there was and kind of along with this, there was a interesting line on here where they said our gaming community is not a free speech platform, which is of course when we talk about bullying and people being really nasty. That's kind of the argument that goes up there. And really, I get that. We're here to play games. We're not here to make a statement, I guess, right? Like, it's not podcasting. It's not like that. It's like it's a community to connect around this function specifically. And by the way,
I mean, even
go ahead.
You mentioned like it's kind of like a podcast. Even with podcasting, you have limitations. If I go on AwesomeCast right now and just start saying the F word, throwing stuff around, doing some random stuff, Sorg has the right to ban me.
Well, because you're on my platform. My platform is the AwesomeCast. It's my microphones, my internet, my domain and everything, right? But generally, as a person on this platform, it's an RSS feed. It goes everywhere. Now, Spotify can decide to ban your RSS feed. They have the right to do that. But that's not even. I don't even think that's what we're talking about here. Like, we're talking about we're talking about like people being
just online gaming.
Yeah, we're talking about just the community for online gaming that Xbox provides. What is that? That entails chat functions, voice functions, and most of those are while you're in a video game, right? Yep. And maybe a bit through the app too, because the chat goes through the app. On your phone, so that it's not a message board. It's not you're live streaming to Xbox, right? That's taken care of with Twitch or something like that. That's a whole other thing that happens over there. Xbox is not responsible for that. And Xbox doesn't. To be clear, Xbox doesn't have to do anything about this.
No.
Like by any law or anything else, in the cause of community decency and in wanting their community to not become a cesspool of really shitty people that nobody wants to partake in, which is what's happening. I don't want to play Call of Duty because everybody's horrible on there, right? That's the problem.
And there's a lot of MMOs, like a lot of games that use that chat function that I know a lot of streamers, a lot of people who play the video games that I like to play, like the let's say Final Fantasy 14, let's say Neverwinter, stuff like that has these communities, that have these abilities to do chat logs and do all that stuff. Like, they don't want to play them anymore because all it is just garbage. Like, all that's coming out is garbage, and they don't want to deal with that. And I'm like, I understand completely. I don't want to play or stream a game where, like, I'm playing against somebody who has a really bad screen name, or somebody who yells and screams whenever they lose. Like, just be like you're on a platform. You're playing somebody else's game. You're playing on somebody else's server. It's not public. It's their server.
Right, and I think
they have the ability to.
There's obviously a detachment here, like that. I mean, it's like what I think we got into Twitter trolls last night on the Monday Mayhem Warriors, because
wrestling.
What was wrestling, and it is what it is. So, and it attracts certain mindsets and things like that, and people think they know right. People that think they're right and can hide behind a Twitter egg and everything like that. But Microsoft has a responsibility just to give a platform so people will want to be there because they benefit from people being on the platform, right? Katie, I know you look at a lot of different platforms in your work in community and social media. Do you have any thoughts of this angle?
No.
No?
Like, it's sorry. It's, I don't know. Like, there's nothing that I can add that you guys haven't said with it, because it's just, it's so annoying that this has to be a thing and consistently has to be a thing, and we can never have nice things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, how do you set up an asshole filter without a lot of work, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about last night, the block and mute button is fantastic on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter if you're using it. And people are like, "Oh, Twitter's a cesspool." And I was like,
No, it's not.
"Are you like, well, yeah, if you're
I mean, sometimes
it can be, but it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to listen to that,
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to listen to the person screaming in your
Like
face.
here, I'm gonna show you. Because there's something called Siri bot that I use for Twitch sometimes.
Okay.
It bans words, bans people that come in, like it bans hate raids that happen on Twitch.
Oh, can you please define what is a hate raid? Because I see that term a lot. I'm not sure. Is that just like a pile on that happens?
So whenever a stream is done, they have these moments where they can shift their audience to another stream. So, and recently, like about 6 months ago, maybe, there's people who were raiding and nothing but hate speech, nothing but like trolls, just nonstop. And
they're just
to the point,
and they're hitting the chat room, right? Like they're all just slamming the chat room with hate speech.
Mm-hmm. Hate speech. Sometimes like it gets as bad as like people doxing other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it gets that bad. But with the Sari bot, they have they have to update every minute at least, because there's some ways that some people can get around these banned words or bot accounts or something like that where you have to go there, but it's like nonstop sometimes. And we're never going to get rid of just this kind of garbage. Like I want it gone. Like we all want it to be nice and clean and everything, but it's not going to go away, unfortunately.
Yeah. People are always going to find, just like we're always going to find new ways to get a positive out of these platforms. Certain people are always looking for ways to do a negative with the platform, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, this is just, and you gotta, weigh those and everything. Yeah, it's the internet. It's the problem. It's a problem of the internet that just exists apparently. So.
And then the other thing you have to deal with is the ever-evolving slang terms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a blah. I'm just like, what does that mean? And apparently it means X, Y, or Z, right? And then is the software caught up to catch those? So yeah, so it's wild.
Phil's been doing good on that.
Good
for that.
Good.
I mean, I as a PS4 guy, Phil has been doing good. Sorg, I hope you saw my text to you with one of the G4 hosts talking about having Game Pass on their on their PC. It's pretty amazing. Anyways,
it is. I think it's only $5 to get it on the PC too.
Yeah.
And if you pay $15, you'll get the cloud stuff too, which will be everything. So you won't have the Xbox because you don't have an Xbox, but it'll be in the cloud, right? So if you got the setup for it. So yeah, I just saw the video. I'm sorry, I didn't see that before.
That's okay.
Oh, I was playing my Xbox 360 at that time when you said that.
Nice.
So I was taking some downtime, turned the lights real low, and played some Dead Island. I think I dropped in that game once before, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this stuff. So it's pretty wild. So I'm just beating up a bunch of zombies in their swimwear. This is weirdly weird. So, but oh well. Another cool thing you can do with your Xbox. And by the way, no, I don't want to get further into that. So we remember when I randomly called Chachi a month or two ago from my phone. I FaceTimed Chachi on his Android phone from my iPhone, and this was thanks to FaceTime was now allowing you to FaceTime other people via the browser. this is kind of a workaround. There's a browser on there and it has a webcam. Basically, anything with a browser and a webcam can take FaceTime. And guess what, guys? That includes the Xbox One. I haven't had a chance to try this yet. I just found it yesterday and I've been a little busy. But yeah, if you use the browser, if you plug in a webcam, and any general webcam, you should be able to plug into an Xbox One and it will take. So if you need to set it up for Twitch or something like that, so that option is available, and you pull up the Edge browser and FaceTime will work. In this case, they used a Logitech C930, a pretty standard webcam again, but it'll work. And it said it was surprisingly simple, according to this, a lot of iMore. I got a lot of iMore articles today. So it's part of the iOS 15 support for FaceTime calls in a browser. And that's when you start a FaceTime call, you can send a link basically to anything, and as long as it can load up in a browser, it'll connect to your call. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. Which is funny because the Apple TV doesn't support it because there's no browser on the Apple TV. If I could get a browser on the Apple TV and I could pull in like the NVIDIA GeForce Now and Xbox Game Cloud, that'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. So
remember Web TV?
Remember Web TV? I think I had a box hanging around here somewhere. I know I did at the old house. Yeah. Very aware. I mean, this is it coming. I mean, we have little boxes on our TVs all the time. That is our Web TV, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Oh my God! And Microsoft, and that was bought by Microsoft, which now is the Xbox One, which has a browser on your Xbox. It did back in the 360, so it did come back around, didn't it?
Pretty much.
Absolutely. Oh, it just all comes back around, doesn't it?
Time is an infinite circle.
Time is a circle. Yeah. Interesting. Katie, well, you got any other stores in here we need to touch on, or
let's talk about Wordle.
Wordle.
Yeah.
I keep hearing this word. What the hell is Wordle?
Yeah.
What are the kids playing?
So you probably have seen on Twitter at this point. You've seen a bunch of, it's like 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. The squares on Twitter, and some of them have green in them, and some of them are gray, and some of them are yellow, and you're like, what in the world is this? That is Wordle. What it is it's a web-based thing where you play. It's a daily word game. There's one word per day, so everybody's essentially showing how well they did with that particular word of the day. So that's what everybody's, look how well I did, and this is awesome, and because sharing their first words, because essentially you're trying to figure out what this 5-letter word is, and you'll put in a 5-letter word, and it'll tell you the yellow means that the gray means it's not in the word of the day. The yellow means that it's somewhere in the word of the day, but not where you have it. The green means that letter is in the correct spot. So you'll see folks sharing what's the first word that you'll use when you play Wordle, because you're trying to figure this out, and it's like, oh, I have this word, this one, whatever. But it's super fun. It's there, like I said, there is one word a day. The thing with Wordle now is there's not an app for it. There are many copycats now in in Apple's and Google stores, and you can find them. But they're not official Wordles. But they're calling themselves Wordle. The gentleman who put this together, who created the website, did not patent it or trademark it. I'm sorry. So there's someone openly bragging that he copied it looks exactly like the Wordle game that folks are playing, and he's charging folks for the pro version for $30 a year, and very excited about this, and hoping folks who love Wordle, the original Wordle, are hoping that this person is able to get a cease and desist, but then again, Apple and Google aren't making money because there's not an app right now.
Yeah, this is all web-based, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just a fun, and it's a thing that's been around for a little bit, it sounds like, and it just took off, and now everybody's doing it. All the kids are doing it.
Yeah. I mean, there's only there's only so much they can do with that. It's a thing. If it's just a thing they created, so it's at powerlanguage.co.uk/Wordle, and it's the letter word in LE, WRRDLE. If you want to check that out, or just search Wordle and it'll pop up. I don't know. I can't get. Is this like Sudoku where I just can't get my head around it? So
I think if you try it a few times, you'll figure it out. Oh gosh, this came out in October of 2021, and it just take off now.
oh wow. All right.
And
Go going. So the green letters are the letters that are in today's word, and the grayed out
yep,
letters are the ones that are not. Is that what's happening?
correct. And if
Okay.
they're green, they're in the right spot. If they're yellow, that means they're in
Oh,
the word but not in the right spot.
going.
And you'll see. And the reason that people are just sharing the yellow and green squares is because everybody's trying to get the same word, figure out the same word, so you don't want to ruin it for somebody else.
Okay, okay. All right. Now I'm wrapping my head around this. Okay, I see what this is. And you only have so many takes, and then you're done for the day, right? And then there's a new word. Correct?
Yeah, you get 6 tries.
6 tries. Okay, I
and
need to
then
stop.
the next one, yeah.
Then I need to stop
and
and
then the
actually
next
think
one
about
will be up in like 4 hours. It says so at midnight. It looks like they come out every day,
and it has
and it keeps a track as you go along.
Yeah. See, there's stats that let you know like how many you've played, your percentage winning, which I imagine is probably a cookie or something like that. Hard mode, I don't think so. I know you're a fan of looking out for accessibility. There's a colorblind mode in this as well.
Neat.
With high contrast colors. So good thinking. So I hope they do well. I hope they get their cease and desist, and I hope they make lots and lots of monies.
So
it is on the App Store.
No, it's not.
No.
Wait, what am I looking at?
That's a copycat.
This is the BS one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Because I got hooked onto a copycat one that wasn't even
yeah, I've seen these ones.
Like it wasn't even what I'm playing right now.
Man.
It was pretty much just like a guess 4 letters or like a 4-letter guessing game timed. I'm like, this doesn't look like.
Guys,
where's the squares? What the heck is going on?
Get your copyrights and your trademarks.
Mine got scared.
Hmm?
My app got scared and changed it to what word?
What word?
It used to be because I didn't realize it wasn't an app either, and I was like, why is everybody getting these sharing these squares? And I was like, oh, that's why.
And but that's the case is that confusing the market, like and which is exactly what you need a lawyer to do. And I don't see any ads on this app, on this game, on the website, so I don't know what they have behind them to be able to put. I mean, that's the other thing, they probably can't afford proper lawyerage, right? Is that the word? Anyways, let's see. There's some other fun ones in here. We talked about Siri. We talked about that. That's bad news. Let's go with this. Hey, because we've been kind of keeping an ear out for Clubhouse for a while, and then everybody ate their lunch. And Clubhouse who? So according to The Verge, and actually, shout out to our friend Kim Lyons, one of her articles, LinkedIn is going to be introducing, how did they call it? Audio events. Ready for this? Audio events. It's basically their Clubhouse kind of ripoff, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, I know, right?
That seems familiar.
I don't know. Will they let me do it? Because I haven't been able to stream on their platform yet. I have a client that, well, I have a client of a client that we have done some video streaming on, and they got it somehow, and I don't understand why. Well, I mean, they're attached to a much bigger company. But anyways, but no, we will see what that looks like. I know, I'm getting hits for Twitter Spaces conversations all the time. Wrestling has picked it up for sure. I'm really interested. Are you ready for your LinkedIn audio power lunches, Katie?
Woohoo!
I've actually had a Sorgatron Media pitch idea for that. I've been waiting to put in the Slack for Spaces. but I've been thinking about that a lot over the holiday. Anyway, but no, I mean, listen, if I could broadcast this to a LinkedIn audio event, even that people can listen to this show live, I'm in. But I have a feeling it's not how it's going to operate. It's going to be like the other things, right? So, Rizz, have you been getting into those Twitter Spaces yet, or any of these similar situations?
The only Twitter I actually just got into my first Twitter Space just to hear why people were supporting Rob Paulson. By the way, just if you're yelling at Rob Paulson, just stop.
Has Rob Paulson ever hurt anybody? I mean,
no.
I mean, Rob Paulson, the voice of other things. I believe Raphael from the original Ninja Turtles cartoon. You know, things like that. So yeah. But what's that? His name was Robert Paulson. Fight Club. Oh, okay. Anywho, our audience was I need a mic. I really need to have an audience mic in here for when people visit. Anyways, the Ronnie mic. Where was I? Yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we'll obviously play with it or be inundated with notifications about it. Just how I get notifications about lots of things I don't care about on LinkedIn, to be quite honest. I mean, who doesn't, right? So, well, on that note, hey, Rizz, thank you for filling in. Thank you for being the Chilla placement today.
I'm glad to be a replacement, Sorg. You know where to find me. I'm always stuck in this room now for like 12 hours a day. It's fine.
Yeah. So you're still on home.
I'm still at home.
I almost said home arrest, but that's not right. That's.
I'm still in my home the entire time we're talking.
That's why you have to order Slice on Broadway, because you're like, I need something. Bring me your Slice on Broadway, please. I haven't seen you for a while.
I know, man.
Well,
we saw each other 2 weeks ago?
Did we? What did we do?
No, wait, no.
What did we do?
No, never mind. That was a couple weeks ago.
Where were we?
That was a couple weeks ago. It was wrestling.
Was it wrestling?
Grappling.
Did you do something? Was it one I was at? I don't know anymore.
I think it might have been the wrestling, like the big wrestling show. WWE.
Oh yeah, we went to WWE together 2 weeks ago. Oh my god!
I have a picture of you guys together.
Picture of us. We were all there. It was like a fever dream.
Like Gutter spied on us.
So, yeah, she did. She really did. Jeez, what the hell? Anyways, that's enough of that. Rizz plays games on Twitch and the Twitter, of course. It's all behind him if you're on the video version. And the Katie K-Dutters on the Twitter. Did you change your Instagram yet?
No, I should do that. I keep forgetting about that. Let's do that. Guess what Dutters does next week?
Oh, rebrand? Are we re-Dutter branding?
I really need to do that. That needs to be a thing. I'll add that to my list.
Put it on your calendar.
I have to start training for a half marathon.
You are.
Dutters.
I have to start next week.
You get to do this now. You get to have one of these.
I know.
Kind of,
sort of.
When is the Pittsburgh Marathon?
It's the weekend of April 30th.
April.
Yeah.
It's like the 30th, whatever, in the first.
When is that happening? You know what, man? How in shape do you actually have to be to do that?
I just have to survive 13 miles. Is the goal. I don't care how fast
13 miles.
I don't care.
13 miles.
Look, as somebody who did it twice.
Oof. In late April weather. Oh man.
It could be 90 degrees in April at this point. Like
yeah.
Oh
nothing will surprise me at this point.
Or you can be running in like a foot deep in snow. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we've all done a variety of the marathon and the relays and various weather at this point.
I've only done the polar bear plunge. They then almost died from an infection in my leg.
That's right.
And then I stopped doing it. And it's not because of the cold. Because I was an idiot and didn't jump far enough and scraped my leg on the concrete. And then like the next day I was teaching at a local technical college, and I was like, I had my classes in the morning, came home, and just keeled over and had to go to the hospital. So that was fun. That was fun. And the guys in the ambulance told me about how they met one Undertaker one time.
Let's do that's a mayhem gold. I'm throwing this out here on the AwesomeCast, but it's a mayhem gold where we all tell our 1 degree of separation or meeting the Undertaker stories.
Oh, I've heard some really weird ones. So I think, anyways, before we get into that, because that's the next show. Thank you, K-Dutters, everybody. Chilla should be back next week. Please jump in all the chats and everything. Dave Potter's been hanging out there in the Facebook, I know. So thank you. Good seeing you out there. I don't know what that is. So, but when Sorg gets mud covered, is that the title? I don't know. I don't know. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, you're our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.